Happy New Year, and welcome back here. DayTraderRockStar here on a very special January 1st day show, I should say, 2021. Couldn't wait to get back in the office. Kind of hate holidays sometimes, being an active trader. I love the markets. Great year. I mean, I'm not even joking about how crazy this year was with the markets, and not to mention everything else that went on. But as markets, we're going to focus on that today, stocks, and just continue to make money. I have the Bitcoin chart up here over the weekend. It is January 1st, and Bitcoin got up around 29,600, and you can see a little trend line here, which we're trying to break down through quickly. And we'll see, and it's actually popping right back up there. We'll keep that in the background. We're kind of monitoring that over the weekend. I think that does move above 30,000 pretty easily over the weekend. And how far, where does it go? I mean, there's 32,000. I mean, that's a big move. 35,000. Who knows? All right. Thinking back through the last year and the trading that we've been doing and how it kind of morphed and became, we adapted to the situation at hand, understanding that so many factors were moving the markets and a lot of puzzles to put together, with the virus and the pandemic and the stay-at-home quarantine stuff, and it was just a lot of different things, the drugs, everything. It was just giving you a lot of different things to trade off of, and that's fantastic, and I don't see that really stopping too much. Next year, 2021, or this year, 2021, personally, I mean, I'm not looking at anything too negative. I know a lot of people, will be concentrating on the election coming up on Tuesday down in Georgia. But just like, we talk about the presidency and how we all perceive that Trump being, the market would welcome a Trump victory and would not welcome a Biden victory. That ended up being wrong and being false. And what we're finding out is, and what I'm finding out is, a lot of people just want to get their money into something better than what they have in just plain savings and CDs and just not making any money. The place to put your money is the market, and that's will always be. And today, this environment right now with all the new companies and all the media and everything, it's only going to continue to, give you opportunities. So we had to find those opportunities, take them, develop our, trading styles to match what I always say. This is something I always say it's, I love teaching trading and stuff, but every trader has a different personality. They say personality A, B, whatever. Some people can handle pressure. Some people can't handle pressure. Some people could add to position. It's very hard, but fundamentals are important, and understanding, why the market moves this way. Why do we get a pop here and a drop there, and nice channel lines? And look at the history of a market and how it performs after it comes out of a certain area. I mean, this market has been pretty easy to predict when it comes to technical analysis. There hasn't been anything really, any sudden, really big, flash crashes or anything like that. It really break down. I said the majority of the time, if you see a nice pattern like this, that pattern's going to, continue on with the trade. I could go into a lot of different things, but the purpose of today's show is actually I'm getting ready for 2021, and if I look back at 2021 and what were some of the greatest trades of 2021, they had to be the ones that you could look at percentage gains. We've had stocks that, actually someone did the calculation, said that I made 1,000% on my bingo warrants. I was like, I don't know. We want to find these opportunities again to get 100 to 200, 300% gains on your money. That's what I really want to be able to focus on. Last year, or before, I would say the year before last, or the beginning of last year, last January, before that, we were focused on some really good technology stocks. stocks that we might be familiar with. Remember, like the COUP. I was a big trader of the COUP. And in the beginning of 2019, going into 2020, I said, you're probably going to see this thing go up, or maybe it was in beginning of 2020. I said, you're going to see this thing go up maybe 300%. You could get moves off of. Now, 2019 saw COUP go up 165%. Basically doubled. 2020, from the low of 2022, pretty much right now, it went up 200%. 200%. Now, there's going to be stocks like that that continue to make those type of moves. And there's new ones coming to the market. I mean, we have Snowflake, Airbnb. We probably have Coinbase coming down the point. We have all these new EV, electric vehicle stocks, new alternative energy stocks. These could be mega stocks down the road. They really could be. Lavago, LVGO. That was one of the great ones. LVGO. No longer there because it merged with Teladoc. They merged with Teladoc, and Teladoc now is the combination both. This is actually a great stock, and I like this now. I like this. You can see I pattern out all my trades here. Everything looks great. So my job is to find the next big one with the help of many of the traders in the room. As Tight Stops I see in the room right now, listing off his stocks that he's been calling out this year, and all of them really great. Cureleaf, which I took for a great profit. CURLF. That was an amazing trade. I took this in November off a lower trend line right up to the top of the trend line. I mean, it continued to move higher and higher, and will continue to move higher and higher. But we know where we're going to get in. I mean, I would love to get a little pullback in this. So many different opportunities, and each day gives us some new ones. There's the new, the Robinhood traders are out there now. The momentum traders are back. There's people out there, and you listen to some of the stock trading shows on TV. They, from the old time traders like myself and Rob, and even the guys on TV. They'll make comparisons of this time right now with the late 90s, early 2000 tech bubble area. This is what the feeling feels like. But they say that the valuations are not the same. It's not tremendously overvalued like a bubble like it was. But the excitement is back in the market. The volumes are there. Everything is coming along really good. And that's great. I'm excited about that. Yeah, car, I think I'll write it down. We'll mention car in a second now. Now remember, I'm doing a video right now, so I'm going to try to stay to the script, and then I'll pause it, and then we could talk, which I should have paused right now. I don't want to end up, I want to be able to broadcast here most of the day here and just do some research with you. But I want to get my, my observations out first here, just of our 2020 and where we're going to be looking for 2021. And again, finding these gems is going to be great. And some of these stocks, like I said, if we look back at COUP, we want to find the ones that we're going to look back at and say, man, I could have had this at $14. Now it's at $70. I said that for NET, N-E-T. We were in NET $30. Now it's at $76. You're gonna have these stocks, and you probably should stick with them and buying each of the pullbacks. Now I'd like to see this pullback a little bit further. Same thing with Snowflake is probably going to be another great one, even though that is already at $200. But I started picking this up on Friday as it came down far enough into my buy zone here, right down in the 280s. So that's pretty exciting for me going out, with regular common shares, so I don't get chopped up or lose anything on the options. I mean, down here, when we look out for a company like this, probably going to be, this thing was over $400. It's back to $281. That's a nice pullback. All right, so we're just looking at CARR here, and I was just discussing this as one of those stocks that could be a tremendous gainer in 2021 if there's still a lot of focus on viruses and how we prevent things like this. This is an eye-opening year, and this carrier, global carrier, is kind of air filtration, air condition. This is perfect for this. And a new issue, came out in 2020. We look back at this end of 2021. What's the odds of it being higher than this? Probably probably good odds. So I said the 20 period moving average is really strong on this because we've trended off the 20 for so long. That would be a very big level. It would also be kind of that breakout level. So it would be a really good, but that's about a 3-point move down. So you're willing to take that 3-point little move down to get in here in case it moves higher, or do you want to try to wait for it but it might not happen? I like it long here. I think it's a great candidate for a yearly, stock. A yearly stock on this. Wait a second. You know what I'm doing here? I'm looking at the weekly chart here. I didn't realize I'm looking at the weekly chart. Johnny, here's the daily chart. I apologize. Here's the daily chart. I'm like, look at that. It's holding off the 20 period moving average. The 20-day moving average. It's 20 weekly, Johnny. Who changed my charts? Anyway, sorry about that. Here we have even better example, though, because we have, you see that pullback, but you see that divergence. Now, this is a typical divergence signal. It's the fast little, it's almost a fast little whip up, and it has that little whoop-de-doo, but the price comes down and takes out the lows, but it whoops-de-doos back up. Now, you didn't have much of an upside before you got overbought. All right. You did have a couple days, but there wasn't much here to work with. Now it's starting to pull back. It's not oversold yet. So what we were talking about on the weekly here, if we saw a weekly pullback to the 20, that would be $34. I say 34 on the daily. That would that would bring us back right down here to the October high. And I would probably still say that would be your really good level to buy. Either way. So I want to get so what I want to do today is get back in here and kind of realize some of our biggest gains were in those smaller, cheaper stocks. And I made a watch list a few months ago, and it was an HPS watch list like I do each weekend for the members here. But sometimes I'll focus that list instead of be a general watch list and looking for all the divergences and stuff I put on there. Sometimes I'll focus it on a certain topic. In this case, I was looking for low float, cheap, what I call flatliners, flatliner stocks, and those have given us the biggest returns. BNGO is a great example. This is a great example. This is trading over $4 after hours too, which is really nice. Look at this thing, took off after hours. And I remember my cousin called up right Thursday at the end of the day, right before 3:30. He goes, "John, should I sell my BNGO?" And I'm thinking, oh my God, he still has his bingo. We bought it together, so he must have it at 15 cents also. And I told him no. I said the only thing you have to worry about today, going into a 3-day weekend like this, is maybe an announcement of some type of offering to raise cash. It would be a good time to do that. But if it didn't happen, I would look for $4 on Monday. Well, when the news came, when they ended and was no news, I think that was proof that there wasn't going to be an offering, and that's why this ran after hours. And then we kind of just settled in about 4:02. Monday, when we wake up, if you could get in here about 4 o'clock in the morning, if you're still holding the BNGO and you want to get your best opportunity probably to get out, I would probably get up here about 4 o'clock in the morning. Get in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, put that trade. And if you're not able to trade at 4 o'clock, then you're out of luck. You really are. But there is brokers out there that allow you to trade at 4 o'clock, and that's where these things start to trade at. So very important. But that's a nice move after hours. So these stocks here, I had it, you know, been there, flatline. It was on my flatline list. CHEK just starting to move. It's on my flatline list. These are stocks that I pick up a few thousand shares in, 1,000 to 10,000, if they're depending on the price, if it's really cheap. And I'll hold them. And I'll hold some of them holding over a year. But then all of a sudden they get the pop. And in some cases you really get a big pop. And you know, if you don't blow out too early, as they say. If you don't blow out too early, you know, you end up, you know, I've done that on many stocks, like Mark, M-A-R-K. I think I got like 30 cents on that when it was like at 40, you know. I've had this one down here when it was 45 cents and it popped to, you know, $3 or $4. And we had that because I found the technology out there that was reading temperatures. I said, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I got a little pop on it. I was out like, who knows? I'm even afraid to go look. I probably doubled it. I got a double on it, but I didn't get what I could have got. So first part of the list is I'm going to show you some of the research that gets me those setups here. Now I do have a watch list that I use. This one is going to my personal watch list, and it's called Flatliners, cheap Flatliners. And I click on that, and this is from my last research video I put out a few months ago on Flatliners, probably maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even more. So as you can see, CHEK was on it. Jaguar Health is on it. These all were flatlining here, and then all of a sudden there was some news coming out. Who knows if it's market, you know, if it's fake news. Most of it's probably all fraud. But the thing is, I want to show you in the next couple of charts, you can take advantage of that. SXTC hasn't really moved yet. It's 34 cents, and you know, Just Energy was in that one. Westel was in this one. Got the pop on that. Vive. So all these were on, you know, stocks that I picked up. SNES actually. And most of these I got in on around June or July. This one's interesting. Specialty chemicals. I did write that one down. I have it written down. We're going to come back to that one. So what I did, you know, Inspire, CHEK, XID. I like that one. I remember looking at this a couple times, and now you can see it's tripled. FTech, quadrupled, tripled. So what I'm saying is, a second sight, it's got it on a flat line, popped. Can go into cash, popped. So my job, the first part of CHEK is the latest one we're in. I have CHEK now, so this one's actually starting to move. So my job is now to find some of these new flatliners, get in before the crowd gets in, just sitting there, and that's it. So let's take a look here. I want to actually look at this over here. I want to put up a column on this over here. I want to look at the float. Latest float on these, if it does give me anything. The float. Sometimes there's no float listed on them. I don't know. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. But you'd like to get a low float. There we go. So SNES, only 2,000 shares. NTEC, again, 3,000 shares. And I think that was one of my criteria. I was looking at a low float to get these on the list. Fuel Tech was a good one. That's that. All right. So I said, all right, let's get some more stocks on the list. Let's find some new ones. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now with you. So one thing I like to use is that FinViz chart, and I started doing this, and I said, you know what? Let me get the show live, that way people can follow along here. So I'll kind of back it up a little here. I went up to the FinViz screener here and threw in the what my criteria was. I think it was descriptive here. The price had to be under $2, and the float had to be under 10 million shares. And that was it, really, just starting off here. I wanted to see how many stocks would come back up here. But there's a lot of good stuff that you could use here, and really just kind of, filter out anything you want. I mean, this is a great tool. Highs and lows, IPO dates. We look for IPOs, and we look for SPACs using this. Relative patterns. This actually has a nice pattern scanner on it. Options, shorts, gross, and fundamentals too. Earnings day, gaps, everything. It has everything in it. It's really good. That's finviz.com. So I came up with that, and then I switched them over. I got a list. A list showed up like this. Here's the list. And I put the list here for market cap just to put it in order. Most of these market caps are about 100 to 10 million. They're very small, very micro cap companies. And now they're in the list here. And there's not many. There's about 80 of them. And then I'm going to click on the charts, and it's going to give me the charts that are kind of just lined up here for me to just look at. Easy to see. And what I'm looking for is, and as you can, this is the important part. Let's look at this. This is pretty cool because I'm onto something, because you find these stocks, and then all of a sudden you get these cheap stocks, and what happens is you get these big candles. Big candles. All of these have these big pops. And these are trades that are happening on news, pre-market. People are getting these trades. So you could easily find a couple of these, get a position in when it's real cheap, and put those orders to sell, double, at 100%, 50%. Where are you going to get a 50%, return on your trade? That's what we're seeing. We're seeing these big spikes. These spikes in this trade are big enough that they either at the beginning of something bigger. They rarely play out. But you have to understand that you can be in here at 80 cents and get out at $1.50, and possibly $2.50. It looks like it traded up there. The same thing here. You get into something, you're going to get those pops, and they don't. Maybe you have to wait a couple months on it. But that's what I like. I like finding a under the radar type of trade that has maybe even a story on it. Cayman Islands, China. I try to stay away from the Chinese, even though you get those manipulatory spikes on it too, and they're planned. These are traders that take positions and then they pop it, and they kind of manipulate these stock prices. But it's better to have that smaller float. They can really capture the float and really control the stock. So again, just running through this, I now have a good list, and I want to just eyeball what hasn't popped yet. This one's popped. This is a broadcasting one. I think I wrote this one down. I said, oh, that's interesting. That's a broadcasting. It's in the U.S. It popped up here at one point to $5 from $2.50. It doubled. That was probably an easy double. I mean, it gave you time to get out, I bet. Looks like it happened over a couple-day period. Let's take a little closer look at that one. Actually, I'll look at it, write it down, look at the other chart. BGI. All right, I got it written down. Happiness Biotech Group. China. Yeah, that sounds good. HGS. But look at these nice pops. Pre-market pops, after-hour pops, and then it drifts back down. But if you're in it, and you got to have those orders in, put those good to cancel orders in. And we could get a bigger list. I mean, you know what? Let's move this float. To like 20 million. All right, let's move that float to 20 million. Let's see if we start it over. Here's entertainment. Eros. Global Corporate. Eros. E-R-O-S. Once we find them, something like this. Let me see if I had that.
I read this article a while back that said that Microsoft employs more millionaire secretaries than any other company in the world. They took stock options over Christmas bonuses. It was a good move. I remember there was this photograph of one of the groundskeepers next to his Ferrari. Blew my mind. You see shit like that and it just plants seeds. Makes you think it's possible, even easy. And then you turn on the TV and there's just more of it. The $87 million lottery winner. That kid actor that just made $20 million on his last movie. That internet stock that shot through the roof. You could have made millions on it if you just got in early. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. Get in. I didn't want to be an innovator. I just wanted to make the quick and easy buck. I just wanted in. Notorious B.I.G. said it best. Either you sling and crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Nobody wants to work for it anymore. There's no honor in taking that after-school job at Mickey D's. Honor's in the dollar, kid. So I went the white boy way of slinging crack rock. I became a stockbroker.
That's right. I love that scene. Love it. All right, ZVT to VT. Gotta tell you, it was on the list. So what else do we have here? So I want to find the next one here. So I'm just scrolling through some of these. And again, we are seeing pops in a lot of these. This one's interesting because it has an upward trend going on. PETZ here. PETZ. I want to write it down, come back to it. PETZ. So that's the process. This is the process. It's a long process. It's going through things, writing them down, and then breaking each one down, digging down underneath the, going under the hood, making sure it's a viable company, checking out all the possibilities. But that's interesting. PETZ here, packaged foods. Videos starting back up. I've just been doing a kind of the last 2 hours of research session and doing a live show here. So I didn't want to just waste it videotaping everything. So I got the final results. And the first part of the research session today was just basically showing you some of the techniques and ways of finding some what I call flatliners, flatliner cheapies, cheap flatliners either way. Stocks that have potential to run fast, and those moves will give you, big percentage gains. We're talking about 100 to 200, 300% moves in the stock. Now, it's not an everyday thing, and these are kind of a wait and see thing. But they work out. They do tend to work out if you get in early enough and just let it play out. So I got a couple here. I'm going to start from the top. I went down, we went through about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like to 11, 12. I circled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want to show you 6 of them. I don't know. The BBGI. Let's take a look at the BBGI first. This is Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is it moved, it kind of moved with the Urban One and the Black Lives Matter push here with media companies. But it was interesting to see that it's holding up here. Broadcast TV station, owns 64 radio stations or something, doing podcasts and things. It fit the criteria in a way that I think it was a smaller float. And let's see if I could bring that over here. Does it have a float on here? Let me see if I can put a float on my screen here. so I can give you the floats. That has about 21 million shares on the float on this. I just circled it. B square, BSQR is better than that, I think. This one actually is $1.53, and a pretty nice base on it. Actually, what the hell is that? Oh, that scared the crap out of me. God, that scared me. Had a timer on. That was scary. B square. Software application. Volume starting to come in on this. It started to pop the other day. It's $1.53. I checked the site, checked everything about it. There's, cloud software, some other stuff. So I wrote it down. I added it to the list. B square. WORX. SC Works. This is interesting. It was halted for like 3 months, reopened, got crushed. They do some kind of suite from medical industry. It popped here for whatever reason and drifted all the way back down. Almost closed that gap. This is probably one of the ones that I like for this type of trade. Has a lot of volatility. What is it? Float is 8.1 million shares. So very low floater. Easily can manipulate and control, move this one around. It used to be, it came up here with some kind of news on their COVID test. It was all fraud. And then it got halted for about 3 months and reopened up, and everyone bailed to get out. And it slowly made its way down to 137. So right back to where it used to be trading, actually a little bit underneath that before it came out with some news. So, it has that potential. I would put that definitely on, definitely something I'm interested in. Just because it's a gamble, and it has potential, because it has these big gaps in it. It has these big areas that people have been in it, and it's sold off. And 123, we'll see. That looks good. That does look pretty good here. And then, so that one's circled. And then we have, I think someone brought this one into the room. I want to give credit to where credit's due. We have a lot of people just helping out today. Intelligent. Oh, no, I actually found this one on my scan. Intelligent, TLGT. They make drugs, generic drugs and stuff. 71 cents. That's not bad. That's not bad. So I want to star that one, star that one, star that one. And then the last one I kind of like a lot, and this was brought to the room by Raindrops. So all credit goes to him for bringing it to the room. I just threw him under the bus. No, it actually looks good. I'm actually going to get in on this one. I'm actually going to get in on it. They recently got a new CEO. All right, now the stock looks awful, but look where this thing where this thing came from. Used to be a company. Recent 75 cents. My goal on this would be just a clean, pure double. Get it up in that 40 cents level. New CEO took place December, the first of the new year. Let's do something, CEO. Let's make a name for yourself. I think they're going to be coming out with some news. Her. Him, her. Raindrops. Sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. So I do like this one. Now we did go over it. I did go over it on the show, and just to kind of recap, I'll show you what some of the. Mark Murray is the new CEO. That he got appointed December 1st. They're other than that, some of the premium stuff on Seeking Alpha here. There's some analysis here. There's one guy here, long soda, $2, soda 2.0. I don't know if that was decent. Well, actually, cancel all that because the latest analysis was in 2016 on these stocks, and most of the people were long, and that probably hasn't really worked out from 2016 on. Now it's that got down to 2019. It did pop up here to 75 cents, and it's all the way back down here. I do like it. I am going to get in it just to be part of that. Again, not much here to go on. Murray began working with Jones Soder as a consultant earlier this year. Served as president since September 1st, prior to joining Jones Soda. Murray served as the president at JGC Foods. JGC Foods. And I don't know much about that company and how that company went, and if that even is a public company or not. I'm curious.